and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Heshain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Dire situation causes the government to seek more loans, State Minister states. Government to sign agreement to receive COVAX facility. News in detail. State Minister of Money and Capital Market and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Nivad Cabral, answering to an oral question in the Parliament today, admitted that the government will have to go for new loans during the year. State Minister also provided a detailed explanation of loans which the country has already taken from locally and internationally.
අද වෙනකොට ඩොලරේ 196ට නැගලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ ණයවල ප්‍රාග්ධන බර ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මම අහන්නේ දැන් එන අවුරුද්ද සහ ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද ගෙවන්න තියෙන වාරික වල දැන් ලෝක ආර්ථික තත්ත්වය තුල රුපියලේ අගය පාලනය කරන්න මොකද්ද ගන්න පියවර? එතකොට කොහෙන්ද ණය පිට තව ණය ගන්න වෙනවද? ඒ සඳහා ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදල හරි චීනය හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් ආසියානු සංවර්ධන බැංකුව වගේ ආයතනකින් හරි ණය ප්‍රමාණයක් ගන්නවද මේක ගෙවන්න? ඒ ගන්න ප්‍රමාණය පිළිබඳ අදහසක් තියෙනවද කියලා මම අහන්නේ.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තියෙනවා ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමනි. මොකද ඔබතුමා දන්නා විදියට මම මහ බැංකුවේ අධිපතිවරයා හැටියට ඉඳලා තියෙනවා. අවුරුදු 9ක් තිස්සේ ওই කාර්යභාරය මම යෙදিলা තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මම මේ ගැන යම්කිසි අවබෝධයකුත් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි ඔබතුමාට මතක ඇති ඒ කාලයේදී 2000 විශේෂයෙන්ම 2012 13 14 කාලයේදී රුපියලේ අගය ඉතාමත්ම ස්ථායී ආකාරයට පවත්වාගෙන යන අවස්ථාවලදී සමහර ආර්ථික ඔස්තාරලා කිව්වා මේක පාලනය කරගන්නට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ මේක පාවෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. පාවෙලා වෙච්ච වැඩේ අපි දන්නවා. ඒ නිසා මේ සියලුම මෙවලම් අපි පාවිච්චි කරලා අපි ඊළඟ මාස කිහිපය තුළදී ගෙවන්න තියෙන මුදල් ඉතාමත්ම කාර්යක්ෂමව කිසිම මුදලක් නොගෙවා පැහැරාවි නැතුව අපි කරන්න බව ඔබතුමාට පැහැදිලිව කියන්නට ඕනේ.
State Minister of Money and Capital Market and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Nivad Cabral also assured that the government is fully assured to settle all due loans locally and internationally. State Minister further made available the figures in Parliament answering to an oral question raised by Colombo District SJB parliamentarian SM Markar from Finance Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa.
ඇමරිකානු ඩොලර් මිලියන වලින් මුලින්ම 2020 සඳහා මිලියන 4095ක්ද 21 වෙනුවෙන් මිලියන 3910ක්ද 2022 වෙනුවෙන් මිලියන 4481ක්ද 2023 වෙනුවෙන් 4242ක්ද 2024 වෙනුවෙන් 4404ක්ද ගෙවීමට නියමිතයි. ඒ ආකාරයටම දේශීය ණය පිළිබඳව තොරතුරු මම දැන් දෙන්නම්. 2020 සඳහා රුපියල් බිලියන 1230යි 2021 වෙනුවෙන් රුපියල් බිලියන 1557යි 2022 වෙනුවෙන් රුපියල් බිලියන 1128යි 2023 වෙනුවෙන් රුපියල් බිලියන 1120යි 2024 වෙනුවෙන් රුපියල් බිලියන 896යි.
The Cabinet of Ministers has agreed to sign an agreement with COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers when allocating vaccines through the COVAX facility. A global initiative backed by WHO that brings together governments and manufacturers to ensure equal distribution among the countries subsequently to the manufacturing of secure and effective COVID-19 vaccines is known as COVAX facility. Sri Lanka has already joined with the COVAX facility and the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, which included the World Health Organization, and has accredited that Sri Lanka is eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccines through this facility. Countries were informed to submit vaccine request applications under two phases to receive the vaccine facility, and the first part included the submission of the information regarding the target group, store capacity and technical information before 7th December 2020. Government sources informed that Sri Lanka has submitted a set applications on time and that the second part is regarding the receiving of vaccines and signing the compensatory agreement that has to submit before this Friday. Thereby, the Cabinet of Ministers has agreed to submit the Part B of the vaccine application according to the guidelines provided by the Attorney General and to sign an agreement with the manufacturer when allocating vaccines through the COVAX facility. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The central bank announces that it expects to review the Banking Act during this year in order to upgrade the legal and regulatory framework of licensed banks to fortify the financial system of the country. Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman made these observations yesterday, delivering the roadmap, monetary and financial sector policies for 2021 and beyond.
The central bank is currently in the process of developing the Group-Wide Consolidation Supervision (GCS) framework to be adopted under risk-based supervision of financial groups. In 2020, the central bank commenced the implementation of GCS framework by carrying out limited GCS based on the observations of relevant supervisory authorities. In addition, in 2021, the central bank will consider providing other regulatory relaxations to banks where possible, considering the extraordinary circumstances that prevailed in 2020. The central bank also expects to review the Banking Act during the year, expecting to upgrade the legal and regulatory framework of licensed banks to further strengthen the financial system of the country.
Moreover, the central bank governor, Professor W.D. Lakshman, stresses that the central bank intends to establish a permanent single-digit interest rate structure in the country. Furthermore, the central bank is in the opinion that fixed income earners, such as senior citizens depending on retirement pensions, will be adversely affected by the low deposit interest rates.
Capitalizing on the achievement of 12 years of single-digit inflation, the central bank intends to establish a permanent single-digit interest rate structure in the economy. We will remain focused on maintaining a market interest rate at single-digit levels going forward. The business community will benefit from low-cost borrowing facilities corresponding to a low interest rate regime. This is imperative to promote investment and entrepreneurship in the country, the needed foundation for sustained high economic growth. The availability of low-cost funding on a sustainable basis would encourage businesses, including startups, to venture into new industries and sectors that have high growth potential. The central bank recognizes that certain social groups, such as fixed income earners, particularly senior citizens depending on retirement pensions, will be adversely affected by low deposit interest rates.
Moreover, the government has decided to appoint a committee to lead and guide the process of implementing the Sustainable Development Goals in Sri Lanka. Also, it has been decided to establish a facilitation centre for the development of industrial zones associated with the Hambantota port and industries in the southern province. The Agenda 2030 for the Sustainable Development was approved by 193 countries, including Sri Lanka, at the General Assembly of United Nations held in September 2015. The Global Sustainable Development Report for the year 2020 emphasizes that it is challenging to accomplish most of the Sustainable Development Goals out of the 17 recognized goals. Therefore, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for the joint proposal put forward by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the Minister of Foreign Affairs Dinesh Gunawardena for the appointment of a committee comprised of Prime Minister as the chair and other relevant ministers, state ministers and the secretaries of the relevant ministries for guiding the process of implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. On the other hand, the Cabinet of Ministers have approved the proposal to set up a smart one-stop shop comprising the representatives of all relevant institutions to enable interested local and foreign investors in investing in the industrial zones in Hambantota Port and industries in the southern province. Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All Share Price Index gained 83.88 points to close at 6,978.86, and the S&P SL20 gained 20.19 points to close at 2,707.64. The turnover was 6.1 million rupees and over 434 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.